Ladies and gentlemen, big terror news.
Hey, kia ora koutou te whānau. Welcome back to Big Hairy News with myself and Magenta. How you doing?
Pretty good. It's been a nice day. So I just came back from a little volunteer potluck at the Greens offices in Newtown. So
Nice.
spent the day hanging out with. I got to hang out with Tam. First time I've seen her since Christmas and New Year. So that was lovely. Also, apparently I got word that Jag might want to come on a bit more regularly this year. So
Oh,
yeah. We'll make that.
That'll be
We'll
cool.
make that happen.
I'm sure we can. I'm sure we can speak to some people. We can do that.
Exactly. How's your day been?
It's been good. Slowly getting things done. We're officially out of our old flat, so I am a free agent. Maybe not. No longer beholden to a landlord, which is a nice feeling.
Yeah. Until
it
you
all
realize
went
that you're
well.
the landlord now and you have to fix everything.
Well, I got to fix the internet, and I didn't have to ask anyone about putting a hole in the wall. The guy was like, I'm going to have to try and find the cord because I can't find it from behind the box. Yeah. And he's like, I'm going to have to fish for it, and I'm going to have to make another hole. And I'm just like, yeah, that's fine. Like, I need the internet.
Right? Yeah.
Do what you got to do. And he's like, okay, it's a bit risky. I'm just like, just do it. I need my internet.
Exactly.
Now we have a little hole in our wall that I had to tape up. And I was like,
Nice.
cool. At least we have internet.
Spackle. She'll be right.
Yeah, I mean, it's not that hard.
Nah,
It's just
really
drywall and a bit of what do you
that
call it?
pasty crap. Yes.
Pasty crap.
Yeah. I can't remember the name for it. It's been years since I've had to spackle a wall.
I've been watching an American channel, and I can't remember what they call it, but it's not what we call it.
I mean,
know
that's
that we have
very typical America. They just got to be different.
Really can't think of what it is. Very annoying. Yeah, but that's not hard to do.
Polyfiller?
I'll learn how to polyfill it. No, it's the stuff that you put in, then you sand it. So the drywall bits, and then you sand it down, and I can't remember what it's called. But yeah,
I
can
know
do
how
that.
to do it. Yeah, exactly.
It's not that hard. Plaster! Thank you! You plaster the plasterboard.
There we go. That's the fucking word.
That's the one. Yeah, they call it mud in the States.
What?
You do mudding. So that's like the next. So we jib and
That's
plaster,
so weird.
and they drywall and mud, I think. So
Okay.
I don't know. Just weird things. Typical.
Yeah. But it's
Typical
exciting.
Americans
It's
doing things
exciting.
different. Yes. So yes, we're no longer hosting the show on data. So, but apparently, according to Magenta, it was better. So,
Well,
who
then
knows?
the internet from your last house. So we'll see how the internet from this house performs. It'll be interesting.
Well, the speeds aren't that much better, and I'm still on Wi-Fi. I got to get the cord connected up. But when the LAN cable is connected, it is super fast. And when I finish the show and I have to upload a bunch of stuff, I'm connecting myself right in, and I'm gonna get the 500 megabyte upload, I think it is, and 1 gigabyte download. And I'm like, that's freaking
Make sure you
insane.
upgrade your modem to make sure you can utilize it though.
Yes, because we went to a new provider, which means we got a brand new modem.
Oh, nice.
Even
Hell
better.
yeah. 2 degrees. Shout
But all
out.
is well. 2 degrees. You're doing amazing stuff. Just saying. I didn't even have to pay for the technician to come in because
Laura reckons we need a
Enable is
3-hour
free.
show to make up for last night. No,
We'll
not
see.
quite. It's only a Tuesday,
see.
mate.
We'll see. There is lots to talk about though.
yeah.
So tonight's show, we've got we're finally going to have a look at the mood of the workforce ETU survey that came out. There's some fun results that came out of that, which we saw yesterday, and a wonderful headline that everyone will appreciate. Although that was the headline via Google or on their main page, the headline on the article itself doesn't have it. So I'll show you what I mean in a minute. So there must have been some, maybe that's like a dual headline thing of like, here's the catchy slogan, so people click on it, but then the headline of the article is maybe different.
Basically, one's clickbait and the other one's real, generally.
Yeah. Basically. So we'll have a look at that and the results there. Also tonight, we definitely need to do a bit of backtracking and have a look at what's been going on in the States. We're only 20 days into January, but I thought it would be easy to be like, oh yeah, this happened, then this happened, then this happened, then this happened. And honestly, there are so many headlines in just the last like 72 hours even that I couldn't go back and get a timeline because things keep changing so fast. So we'll have a look at the stuff that's happening in America and some of the reactions to the fascist takeover, basically. And then afterwards we'll go in a little bit broader and look overseas to all the other shit that the Trump administration are doing. Specifically in Greenland is the current one. Is popping off. Everyone's got something to say, and yes, it's kind of the hot topic at the moment in terms of Western politics. Obviously, there's a hell of a lot more happening around the world, but it's kind of the big powers. So lots to talk about there. So I'll do my best to kind of keep it somewhat coherent, but honestly, I just spent the last 2 hours trying to line everything up. I didn't even get time to feed in the good stuff. I couldn't even find the headlines earlier about what Madani was doing, which is the good stuff. There was all the Epstein stuff that happened. So there's a lot coming out of that crazy country, but we definitely need to go and have a look.
Absolutely.
All those things of history repeating itself and feeling warnings where they are. But before we get too crazy, we've got to make sure that we say thank you to our patrons who helped the show. But I was going to press something and it didn't work.
How rude.
A thank you. Our patrons who help the show go on. If you'd like to become a patron, you can go to patreon.com/bighairynews and join us for some sneak peeks, merch drops, behind the scenes. Well, I suppose this is kind of behind the scenes stuff too. Interviews, if they get pre-recorded, will go up on Patreon before they go up on any other platforms. So if that's what you're into and you want to support us throughout the year, that's one way you can do it. Other ways you can support us is super chats. You can share the videos. You can just chat with us. Easy ways, lots of ways to get on board. The other way is, of course, the store. So you go to bighn.nz and go to the shop. You can see all of our merchandise, which you can proudly show yourself off to the world and show us off to the world. And let people know that you would like to tax work less and tax wealth more.
Oh, yeah. That's going to be a real good one for this election season, I think.
Yes, very much so. And then obviously the website as well has links to all of our most recent videos on YouTube. You've got your merchandise there. You've got our other shows like Craig Rennie's Locked Out or Gary Payenda's The Front Line, and also The Collective, which I assume will be starting up soon. We'll see how that goes, hopefully once a month. Shorts and clips, lots of things that look, it's me eating Seymour's lunch. This will be interesting to see what happens in this year. All the fun stuffs. So you can go and check it out. Oh, and the other one too, keep reminding people, the join us on Discord link is there.
All of the links, all of the people.
Like it. All the things are there. All of them are accessible. Alrighty. Shall we
What mess are we starting?
jump on in? I'm very blue. I'm just going to quickly fix this. I've been playing around with my settings and I still haven't quite figured them out.
No, I
Oh,
get
it's
it.
because
I'm
it's on
like
auto white
orange.
balance, you piece. No, see, look, there I go. Now I look like a human. I am a human.
Not too
Look at
pasty.
me. Not too pasty. I'm not that blue.
Right?
Eventually I'll get my LEDs up and running and then I'll be very pink again, but we'll see. All in due
We'll
time.
get there. Many boxes to go through.
Many boxes. And also need to change the orientation of my desk because at the moment this is like way too close to the door, so I can barely open the door. But also
okay.
the desk is a really like deep desk. So it's also like pretty much half the width of the room.
Jesus.
It's a big boy. And this is only half of what I used to have. I used to have another whole desk that like continued on at the same width.
No, I
and-
remember the desks you had in your old place.
Yeah. Yeah, now it's just the one. So
Also,
Bad,
can I just say a real quick shout out to those who are watching us on Twitch and commenting? I see your comments. I see 5 whole people there, and at least 3 of them are
Hell
real.
yeah.
'Cause I saw their comments, so shout out.
nice.
Look at us.
Oh my god. Yes, there are
Right?
some Twitch. We like the Twitches. The Twitches?
Twitchers, yeah.
I saw Olby's chat on Twitch. Have you converted, Olby? Have I converted you?
Probably, honestly.
Alrighty.
But
Shall
let's
we jump into the mood of the workforce? So Lloyd Burr has actually been doing some fun breakdowns of the survey. Thanks, Lloyd. I'm gonna steal your homework. And the first one he did was yesterday, looking at 4 a.m. But geez, he was keen to get that going. I made this the top story of the day. So how NZ workers are feeling about political leaders. So just a little bit about the people who responded to the survey. So more than 2/3 were women, 68.9%. Most were over the age of 45, about 76%. Most were NZ European, so that's 76%. Around a third were not members of a union. They cover a vast array of blue-collar and middle-class white-collar jobs, such as teachers, nurses, doctors, contractors, tradies, cleaners, factory workers, supermarket workers, wharfies, I assume people who work on the docks.
Yeah.
Yep. Public servants, unemployed, part-time, and emergency services, posties, and other vocations.
So everything. They could have just said everything, pretty much.
Well, it's not.
Like, that's a pretty
Not everything, but everything that makes a society function, essentially.
very wide variety.
It's a yeah. I mean, even you could have just said public servants, and that would cover a good number of these people. But yeah. So the people that pretty much make the world run,
shit run.
really.
Exactly.
Yeah. So, how do they feel about New Zealand political leaders? And obviously, if this is a CTU survey, obviously,
Yeah.
you know, public servants, a lot of them, they have unions, which obviously makes sense to protect them, and, you know, the government can't fuck them over because they're government workers as opposed to privately employed people who obviously have a bit more one-to-one relationship with the people who are able to set their salaries and all that sort of thing. So take everything that's kind of said with a bit of a grain of salt, but also this is kind of fun to see.
Oh yeah, I mean it's interesting regardless to kind of get a sense of, you know, like obviously the sample base of like demographic being majority women over 45 is obviously homogenous, but it's still good to get a gauge on where people are sitting at.
Well, yes, it is a bit homogenous, but also isn't there a sort of common saying that it's that is kind of the voter base that you want because they're the ones who kind of run the household a little bit?
Oh yeah, I mean this whole society is run off the backs of women out there doing a lot of hard work, so
yeah.
Absolutely.
Cool. Well, let's see. Respondents were asked to rate leaders' performance between 1, 4, and 5. Excellent. See a lot of green here, guys.
Good sign already.
So, interestingly, Swarbrick at 3.6%, followed by Davidson at 3.1%, as well as Hipkins at 3.1%. And then I think you were saying, Magenta, yesterday that despite the current kerfuffles happening with Te Pāti Māori, we've got Debbie Ngāwera Paka at 22.4%, Rāwhiri Waititi at 2.3%, which is not bad at all. I'd say it's not bad. Peter's sitting at 1.9%, so just on 2%. 1.9, sorry, rating, yes. So just on 2. Apologies. And then Luxon, the current Prime Minister, going into his final year,
right,
is sitting at a 1.3 stars, essentially.
Right. It's embarrassing for him.
It is embarrassing. So the party of that had just an absolute shitstorm break just on Christmas is polling about roughly twice as good. Almost
and also, yes, I think we accidentally percentages. They're not percentages. It's
sorry,
scale,
not percentages. Yes, sorry. Yeah. You get what I mean. Sorry.
Yeah,
3.6 stars, 3.1 stars, 3.1 stars, 2.4 stars. You get the idea. And then Luxo and Seymour both sitting at 1.3 stars, 1 and a bit stars, basically.
Right.
Might as well be poor.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty bad. But this also, I mean, it is a bit tricky too, because you're also seeing 2 Greens and 2 because of the co-leadership. So I'm gonna say, because you rate each of them, that it's not spread between the 2 of them. It's just you're rating each and every one as an individual. Yeah. So kind of makes sense that these guys are fairly similar. Obviously, Chloe has a big public presence. She's kind of like, she's a bit of the face of the party, even though it is a co-leadership.
For sure.
Because I think she has a particular demographic that she speaks to, and I think the party knows that, and they utilize that as much as possible. Whereas I think you see these 2 very much always there side by side, or at least highlighted side by side, and not often interviewed separately. Maybe that's probably the way I'd say it. All right. Christopher, no political instincts, Luxon. Love that. I think we've said that a lot of times. It's no instincts. He just doesn't know how to take brownie points when they're handed to him on a plate.
Oh, dude, for real.
So the Prime Minister had a pretty brutal assessment in last year's Mood of the Boardroom, where he was ranked 15th best performing minister by 150 business executives. Oof.
Oh. And that's by business executives. Damn.
Oh, yeah, that's his base.
That's his people.
And,
that's his people.
Yeah, his people weren't happy with him. Ask the rank and file blue collar workers slogging it out, and it gets much more brutal for him. Not surprising. And then there's some of these are the comments and summaries. So explicitly positive comments about Luxon are extremely scarce. There were virtually no praises for his performance in the data. Respondents did not credit Luxon with any clear positive leadership qualities.
Wow.
Blatant, Luxon is useless. No political instincts, no media ability, no backbone, is quoted by one of the respondents.
Yep.
His leadership abilities were the focus of many comments, with one saying, Luxon is our weakest Prime Minister ever, and I'm not old enough to remember... Sorry, and I'm old enough to remember Bill Rowling. I'm sure there's a viewership there that will laugh their pants off. Sorry, I am too young.
Not me Googling who that guy is.
Yeah. Not... I trust that person, what they're saying. I'll read chat to validate. By Luxon and his Muppet Show. A leadership should inspire, not infuriate. Luxon is a complete vacuum. Luxon's response. Can we all guess what he's going to say? CTU, blah, 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 Labour Party, blah, blah, blah. Of course he said it.
Look what
The
I say to
CTU
you,
operates
Boots.
on behalf of the Labour Party and has always campaigned against this government. The face of the CTU policy director, economist Craig Grenny, whoop whoop, is a Labour candidate and a senior member of Labour's political policy council. All of those are factually true. But if we're going to just say the CTU operates on behalf of the Labour Party, which I don't believe is true at all, I believe it's independent. However, famously and historically, the Labour Party was born out of, for around the unions and for workers. So there is some truth, but not necessarily.
The co-papas align. Like they
Co-papas
have
align
shared co-papa.
quite a lot. However, can we, in the same breath, then start to look at national and maybe something like the Free Speech Union and perhaps their ACT
Hobson's pledge with
alignment there.
Yeah.
We've also got Jordan Williams maybe and
TPU.
Whatever the taxpayers onion.
Yeah.
TPU, thank you.
Yeah, that's the
Maybe
one.
it was
Taxpayers
somewhere.
Onion. That's right.
The onion. Can we just also then just lump them all together because they also align and they also do lots of surveys. So pot calling the kettle black, just saying.
Well, actually, it's funny you say that. We can have a look at it after this if you like. But I got sent the Free Speech Union's plans for 2026. We got it. We got it. So we can have a look at that after if you like.
Sounds good. I'd love to know what National are planning to do because they didn't let go much. They didn't let much slip on yesterday's speech, so All right. Chris Benign Hipkins. Oof, that's also pretty tough. If you think the working class cohort of workers who participate in the survey would go easy on Labour leader Chris Hipkins, think again. The common thread is that there's a summary, is that he is somewhat benign, but not particularly strong as a leader of the opposition, the survey summary says. He's often seen as well-intentioned, but lacking impact or boldness. Very much echoing what we have also said and what we're feeling and thinking. Not just within our community, but also in the wider community as well. Words and phrases to describe him: too weak and reactive, failing to present a strong alternative. I back that one, yes. Timid or lacking charisma. Yeah. He's nice but ineffective. Perfectly sums it up. Uninspiring, fair. Competent but bland. That's an interesting one. So he really echoes a lot of what people are saying about every other Labour Party essentially around the globe. It's exactly the same as what people say about Keir Starmer. In fact, people have a lot worse things to say about him.
Yeah.
But similar ideas of like he's bland and boring and gets the job done sort of thing. But they did win the election, so interesting there. You've also got Albanese, similar sentiments against him. He was a little bit more bold in what he wanted and a bit more obvious in the passion and the vision that he had for the country. Again, maybe now that he's in power and whatever's happening globally may be impacting it, but people are kind of like, okay, can we start to do what you said you were going to do? Maybe not. So similar feelings there. I haven't really heard much about the Canadian one as well, but again, kind of a safe bet. Labour won that election. Yes. Yes. Mark, can't remember his name. Took over from Trudeau.
Yeah.
But again,
I think he just they just signed on to some agreement with China recently. So
no, I don't know. There's so much going on. I haven't been keeping up with Canadian politics. I'm sorry. Mark Carney, thank you. So yeah, I don't know whether or not competent but bland is a bad thing. I don't know, but fair criticisms, yeah, absolutely fair criticisms.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think that competent but bland is necessarily bad. I just think things are so fucking bad. People really need I do agree. I think Kiwi Skirt pointed out, like, I don't think timid is quite the right word, because I do think that he is quite confident to clap back and often throw shade to the Greens and Te Pāti Māori. But the charisma is definitely like the big thing. I just think, like, I was obviously I was at a Greens meeting just earlier today, and yeah, some interesting kōrero there. I've heard apparently even people who are within the Labour membership are not sure about that one, eh? So it does seem like there is a lot of people who really want Kieran, because obviously, you know, he's got that fight, he's got that relatability as well. I think unfortunately the longer Chris is kind of a career politician, whether that's a bad thing or not, I think that's fine. But for people who keep seeing him in that role, you know, it does kind of cement a certain idea of who he is in people's heads, rather than, you know, what we've seen from some like Barb and Kieran, you know, where they're a lot more just like, you know, for a purpose.
Yeah. And I think it's that thing of, I think Pat says it quite well, of like they're having someone as the face of the party who's kind of not too aggressive, not too whatever, not too polarizing. Like I think perhaps the left and like us who are quite more politically active and we want to see radical change, and we want to see completely different and push completely away from what we're seeing, because what we're seeing now is just so far right that we need to become a lot more left in order to mitigate the harm of these new policies. And I think Pat says it quite well, of like you've got Barb and Kieran, who are the attack dogs, who are not the face of the party, but perhaps can mobilize that faction of the Labour Party. I get the ideas. Again, we're lost in the source, so like everything, we kind of see things very differently to the general populace, but can't say that every single person who who took part in the surveys is same as us as well. So it's hard to know if this is just a general sentiment.
There are a lot of people out there who do just kind of like, I think it's like things are so bad. Like the only argument I have against Chris is that it is great. It's great to have stability. It's great to have someone who understands the system really well and all of those things. But I saw literal comments in our chat last night of people who didn't buy Christmas presents because they could not afford them. I myself did not buy Christmas presents. I didn't have Christmas. It's one of those things where things are so bad and so desperate that like people need a little bit more energy and hope that things are actually going to change. And that's where I just feel like, you know, there needs to be more clear, like, we are better, we can do this. Like they need to work on. And also I think presenting a united front with the other parties and the left is still something that I would like to see come out of them, because that's actually some of what I've heard echoed today, like of just, you know, we want to work with Labour, but can they make it a little easier and less hard sometimes? So
yeah. They kind of, unfortunately, the Greens do need Labour to have their back, I guess. They need to have Labour the Greens need Labour to have their back, because if they don't, it actually hurts Labour more than it hurts the Greens. Because all it does is it pushes those people who are probably in the Labour camp, who are maybe Labour, Greens, kind of in the middle, and they see this kind of like attack on the Greens and they like their policies, they're just going to shift Green. And that's, you know, as an MMP, they're kind of, it's all a wash, really. However, if the Labour Party is seen to be dogging on Te Pāti Māori and Greens' more radical policies, then this whole narrative of like, well, it's MMP and you're going to have to work with them sort of thing kind of works against Labour's favour, where it's, you start to see, you know, that whole narrative of like there's cracks in the coalition, it's a bit unstable, no one can agree with each other. So United Front is going to be probably the thing that Labour needs to figure out how they're going to do and how they're going to speak on the Greens and Te Pāti Māori's more radical policies.
Oh, for sure.
Don't know how they're going to do that. Good luck, guys.
Yeah.
So far, not so good.
Some mahi for us to work on.
Yes. I think we need not just a party, what do you call them? Their party caucus holiday retreats, and they need to have like a left party retreat.
Oh, I think we should have had that last year, though. This year's too busy for that.
Yeah. All right, let's get back to some of these other Chris Hipkins criticisms. While some call him a good man who's had some good moments in Parliament, others are blistering in their comments about him and the direction of Labour's taking. I have a rather critical turn of mind and don't rate any of them very highly. I loathe Chris Hipkins nearly as much as Luxon.
Whoa!
Damn.
That's a bit much.
Okay,
Damn.
interesting. Labour still need to shake their neoliberal hangover to be really credible. I'm unconvinced that Hipkins can either grasp the need to change or make it. Labour as a party must grow a backbone and represent the working people who formed the party. That's an interesting one.
Uh-huh.
Interesting indeed. Another person wrote, Labour are wasting every opportunity the Nats hand to them. Good. Yep. And they need to pull finger. While another suggests Kieran McAnulty should be the leader. There you go.
Yeah.
The people want the man. How did Hipkins respond to this?
Ooh,
so Labour has found...
Oh, yes. You continue.
Sorry. Kat, do you want to read his response?
Okay.
There. My cat's
so
scratching
Hipkins'
at the wall.
response. Labour was founded to represent workers, and that remains our mission. We are listening, a Labour spokesperson says. Labour has consistently tracked upwards in polling since the last election, and we are encouraged by the results we see, but there is plenty of work to do ahead of the next election. Chris Hipkins is deeply committed to standing up for everyday New Zealanders and ensuring Labour presents a stronger, bolder alternative to the current government. We look forward to campaigning on more excellent policies that reflect the interests. I mean, yeah, that's a statement. I think, I'll be honest, it feels a little weak and like what they always say. Like, yes, you're saying you're getting back to your roots and basically, you know, being for workers, but people need to see that a bit more. I think they need to really just have a bit more of a stronger presence, you know? But I hope they do that.
Kat has joined us. So
Nice.
I hope you don't mind her. Oh, you might be able to see her. She's having late time boggies.
Oh,
But she can't go out. Poor thing.
poor thing.
Alrighty. Winnie.
Oh,
Winston
Winnie.
Courageous Peters. Now this is interesting.
Okay.
The NZ First Leader comes off relatively unscathed compared to Luxon and Hipkins. However, his position as part of the coalition government implicates him in a lot of criticism. Many used expletives. Interesting.
Interesting.
Direct criticism of Winston Peters in these comments was relatively muted compared to others, likely due to fewer mentions. However, he didn't escape criticism altogether, with one person calling him an embarrassment, another claiming he ruins everything he works on, and one person being appalled at his actions re greyhound racing. Interesting.
Interesting.
Others were more substantial. Everybody needs to rule out working with New Zealand First, Shane Jones and Winston Peters at the next election. Peters ruins everything he works on. Who listed the Inter-Island Ferry Project as one example. That's interesting. So that means it hasn't washed off his back and it's stuck with him, unlike, say, Erica and the school lunches, in which that was very largely blamed on Seymour. That's quite interesting. Very, very interesting. And if we're thinking about the people that they also surveyed, it's also the wharfies. So that kind of makes sense that there's some...
Wow, yeah.
Yeah.
I guess he was basically seen to come in and fix Nicola's mistakes. So, unfortunately, I can see that reflecting positively on him.
Well, apparently it didn't. The work he's done as Foreign Affairs Minister drew praise from some quarters, with one person calling him actually rather brilliant, while others bookended it with criticism. I don't trust Winston Peters to play straight, but he is a very good Foreign Affairs Minister. when the term started, I probably would have echoed the same thing. After the Palestine thing, I'm like, no, he's fucking gone. Get rid of him, please. He's too old.
Right?
Well, actually, no.
Sundown
It would.
kid.
Actually, it's probably more the Moana interview. That was the thing that told me
yeah.
that he was far too old to be playing this game anymore.
Yeah, no, like he's definitely got a lot of things in his career and past that is, you know, objectively decent, but bro needs to retire and just enjoy the rest of his life.
Yeah, enjoy that Parliament for most of your life paycheck. I'm sure 100 years your retirement package has got to be good, right?
Oh yeah, and I mean he'll get the pension, so he'll be fine.
He's been getting the pension for ages, isn't he? Like 80?
Yeah. Good old beneficiary Winston.
Beneficiary Winston. Great foreign affairs minister, absolutely diabolical otherwise. Some people were entirely positive about Peters, calling him a master of politics no matter what side of the aisle you're on, someone who at least understands political history and has the courage to say things how they should be said. Interesting. Peters' response, typical Peters, there will be no comment. A spokesperson from his office.
You are beneath me. I shall not talk to you.
So funny. David Dangerous Seymour. I would love to know what people thought of Le Seymour. While ex-leader has a few supporters amongst those surveyed, the vast majority gave him negative feedback, which was blistering and abusive at times. Jesus. People are speaking their word. Words used to describe him include dangerous, destructive, manipulative, and ruthless. Summary says the dominant perception is that Seymour wields outsized influence, pushing a hard right agenda, and any comments reflect surprise and concern at how much power he has. Interesting. We've been saying that for a while. Despite a small number of respondents rating him highly, interesting, he was one of the most negatively viewed figures.
I mean, so he should be.
Yeah. David Seymour and Mr. Peters are radicals and have an unfairly disproportionate influence on our government and changes, said someone. The theme of excessive influence was common, with many comments claiming Seymour has too much power. Many call for him to be sacked or fired. He should have been sacked and fired a long time ago. I'm just saying. He did some stupid shit that would have got most MPs fired. Just think of the time that he drove up the steps of Parliament. Apparently that wasn't enough. No, whatever.
But TPM gets censured for tikanga. Love it.
Yeah. However, there was praise in a few comments for David Seymour. I'm liking David more and more, and Chloe less and less. And I've never liked Chippy. That is a fascinating comment.
Whoever that is, I don't like them.
I have a feeling that is that comes from perhaps someone who may have seen David as a lot more mild than he was, and Chloe, who was a lot more mild than she was in the beginning, and who are probably quite like weirdly aligned. And as they've grown and actually like settled their positions, and David's kind of come out of his he's kind of like one of those sleeper agent. He was being the sleeper agent, and now he's finally like, I fucking go
now all the misogynists are like coming out of the woodwork, being all like, yes, it's still time again.
Yeah, whereas Chloe was probably quite mid, but that's because she was maybe very, it may be aligned with David on probably some of those more liberal things, now that she's actually grown and she's developed more into a mature adult.
She's a very outspoken
She started quite
woman.
young.
Yeah, she's a very outspoken young woman, and there's a certain demographic that really don't like strong women, and seeing all the authoritarianism coming from David is probably getting them hard.
Yeah, so I think that's probably where that comes from. David Seymour is the smartest guy in the room. Vote ACT. No, sorry.
Whoa, that's a plan. Now that's a plan.
I think that person may need a lobotomy. Do we care what his response is? No, because he's fucking got a hard on for that sort of shit. Chloe Bold Swarbrick and Marama Principled Davidson. Like those. Right. Chloe Swarbrick is broadly perceived as intelligent, articulate, and deeply in touch with younger generations' concerns. I like that. Many respondents admire her boldness. There's a summary. Marama Davidson is often perceived as principled and focused on facts, justice. Facts, justice. Respondents who mention her usually do so favorably. Comments call them outstanding leaders, our only hope, the only ones who have visionary policy, love that, real leadership and concern for the environment. One of the comments being, I believe more in the vision that Chloe and Marama have put forward and support a return to having our assets and services under our control as a nation. Swarbrick receives more praise than Davidson, with people calling her clear and calm, passionate and principled, and a standout for me. There are detractors, though. One saying Swarbrick would destroy New Zealand worse than Labour did, and another hoping the Greens will be gone through their own stupid actions in 2026.
Oh, cry harder. Oh no, I don't like those greenies getting more popular.
I used to vote Green, but they have lost the plot with their...
Kefir.
Kefir? Yeah. Wearing posturing, says one worker, while another calls
that's
them
a
delusional
Zionist.
extremists.
That's a
That
fucking
sounds
Zionist.
to me like, that sounds to me like someone who's probably a bit racist. just
a bit.
Just a little bit. Racist undertones, if you ask me. Green Party's response: We're encouraged that workers recognise and value that work, and will keep fighting alongside them in the year ahead. Says Tiano Suiono, who is the party's workplace relations spokesperson. The Greens are committed to delivering policies that make a material difference in the lives of regular people across Aotearoa. Last year, we saw the government strip back sick leave from part-time workers. Thanks for reminding us, Greens. I forgot that. Peel back pay equity progress, effectively cut the pay of teachers and minimum wage earners, and change employment law to benefit big business at the expense of working people. It's time for bold action that prioritises the well-being of workers and their whānau, not more pandering to the rich at the expense of the rest of us.
Absolutely.
Limited feedback specifically about the co-leaders of Te Pāti Māori, which means no nicknames in the sub-headline for either of them. Interesting. Generally comments about the majority focused on the infighting that's been plaguing the party, as well as the explosion of two of its MPs. TP have been destroying themselves. Māori party leaders have obliterated themselves. I was more in support of TPM until the issues that have arisen. Other descriptors include party being a mess, a circus, chock full of arrogant pricks, and needing to resolve its internal problems. Oof. Ouch. Te Pāti Māori need to heal their wounds and show unity and credibility. A handful of others urge the party to ditch its president, John Tamahere. Some of the positive comments include Waititi being passionate, courageous, authentic, and innovative. Those, to me, are the highest praises of any of these guys.
Yeah. No, yeah. I mean, we saw all the mahi that, like, Hannah put into, like, obviously she wrote the bill, but she also put forward her members' bill, which is to enshrine te tiriti within our constitution. So, yeah, they've been doing some amazing mahi, which is why it was a real disappointment that things went how they did at the end of the year. But, again, they're still way higher than the guy who's been our prime minister. Like, that's...
Yeah.
Whew.
Those are very, very interesting... adjectives for YTC though. I think that's a kind of I vibe with that. Debbie was described as strong, spirited, community-orientated, and principled. Love that. Love that. I would argue that every and all politician should be this, right? Mm-hmm. Right? Mm-hmm. I love these. I love these words. More like this, please. Sparty Melody's response. We've had our challenging moments last year and it didn't define us. Despite what goes on, you still turn up and show people we're focused on them. Every party inside Parliament has had their challenging moments and we want to be showing that we are focused on workers. That has to be our core focus and that's what we've got to keep fighting for. These are the workers who hold up our nation in every crisis, and with this government specifically, they've been absolutely disrespected. I've got a son looking to leave for Australia this year. We feel it. We're real families. We feel the fallout from what the government that's just so harmful to ordinary New Zealanders is capable of, and we've just got to stay focused on that.
Mm-hmm.
Love it. And there's a wee bit about from the CTU boss as well, but we'll leave it there for that. Any thoughts while I leave you? There you go. Any thoughts, Magenta?
Aww. See, you want me to think while I'm staring at Chloe? That's hard.
Sorry.
Well, actually, there was something I wanted to share. If it's a quick little,
I'll leave it on that one.
Screenshot that someone sent me on Discord. So if I can share this, there was a comment someone noticed from the survey, and
I've lost
my thing. Why is my computer being? There we go.
Better.
Can I have the stage, please?
You may have the stage. There you go.
Thank you. Chris Bishop is ranked in the top performing National Party minister in the CTU survey, but his score is hardly a resounding endorsement. The worst, Nicky no votes, as one respondent wrote. So, let's
That's
fucking
part
go.
2 of this.
Hell
That's
yeah.
part
Well,
2 of this.
that's my favorite thing that I've seen. But I mean, I think the main thing that I really see from this is that it's pretty fucking bad. Like, Luxon's really fumbled the bag so hard. But at the same time, I don't want any of us to get complacent and think that this is going to be an easy election to win. Because, I mean, we had a lot of confidence about Kamala and we got Trump. So I think that's, for me, kind of one of those things where I'm like, yes, this is great and it's good to see that part, but that does not mean the mahi is to slow down at all. So I'm just excited. At least there's a good base for us to kind of jump off of to really start kind of recruiting to the collective in the neighborhood. So it's good to see the Greens performing well. I really do hope that the Greens people really start to actually understand who the Greens are as a party. I also kind of toe talk with some of the things I've seen in the comments about like that basically people don't know a lot about what they're responding on or talking about a lot of the time. So like that would be another thing that would be nice to see, is kind of just seeing people actually get more engaged and learn and kind of have a more informed response, I think is where I'm going with that.
Yeah. Exciting stuff. Yes, so that was yesterday's post. The one that came out today was very much scathing review of the current government. But we've got a few super chats we need to go through.
Yes.
So let's get to that. And then we've got a few more stories tonight. So maybe we'll leave this one till tomorrow.
Did we want to have a quick nosy at the FSU thing, or should we save that one for tomorrow too? I don't mind.
FSU thing?
The Free Speech Union, their 2026 plan manifesto.
Oh.
It's an interesting read.
Oh, yes, we will in a second.
All
Okay,
right.
let's do that. Right, super chats first. We got Citizen Gold, who says countdown out of chaos. 284-ish days, 333 at most.
We find out tomorrow.
We might find out tomorrow.
Yeah.
We've been told that we might find out tomorrow. So, Citizen, you'll no longer have to do the math.
Right.
You'll have an exact date. Yourself and Craig can no longer have a beef. The beef will be settled. The same number. Okay.
Hell yeah.
Be nice. Beta. $2. Here's a prize. Don't invade anyone.
Ooh, damn.
I love that. It's Kiwi Burb says green supremacy is real.
Hell yeah.
According to that survey. I'll read these ones because you start them and they're a good time.
Yeah, those were mostly so I couldn't forget stuff.
But
yeah, it was a good point.
Chloe has had more FaceTime with Maraba out. Oh yes, out of it for last year. Yeah, that's true.
Like
that's
Chloe
true.
did pick up a lot, which I thought was a very fair point.
Fair
Also,
point.
I saw this comment. You want to know something funny, guys? This is the same microphone that I was using last year, but I bought myself one. So I was borrowing my flatmate's one. But now I have my own one. So nothing's changed. So I don't know what's going on. I'm downloading apps in the background to try to fix it. That's why I'm going real, like, ASMR vibes inside my mouth. Just, ah.
I have the same one, but in pink, by the way.
Oh, we have the same microphone? That's crazy. See what I mean,
I've
guys?
used
I don't
software
know
to
why
enhance
the
it.
sound does what it does. It just does what it wants to. And also Obi-Wan Kenobi, amazing, had to be seen. And also no fucking pressure, no pressure.
Yeah.
Right? The Greens have a lot of mahi to do.
They got this.
All right.
They got this. This is their year. I'm sending good vibes. This is their year. They got this. They got this.
Yeah, I was talking to Tam today, and she's very tired already, and it's only like the first week back, so it's going to be a lot to do. I don't know if we guys have a look. Oh shit, go back on there. So this was sent to
give
me
us
from the Discord.
the New Zealand equivalent of the 20. What is it? 2020, Project
fucking
2025.
Yeah, Project 2025. Low-key gives that energy. So yeah, this was sent through the Discord literally like today as I was at the Green Party office. So I haven't actually read over everything completely fully, but I have seen quite a couple of points that just, I mean, there's already a off thing. Like, they're clearly going for civics curriculum, which I'm like, oh yeah, what kind of civics are you going to be trying to get people to teach? They've got plans for a youth engagement program, net censorship. They want to campaigning against government attempts to regulate and control internet content, including monitoring proposed restrictions on platforms like X. They don't want to monitor a platform that people have been using to generate like CSAM. And if you don't know what CSAM is, it's child S-word something material. But yeah, so that one kind of a bit of a red flag. Under 16, they want to oppose the age restrictions, funnily enough. But down here, Bill of Rights strengthening, advocating for constitutional protections that cannot be unilaterally set aside, modelled on First Amendment style provisions. Which, the wording to me says, we don't want tetirity. That is something that would, and so, yeah, really, really interesting. Apparently, they're resuming a podcast series.
I just read that and I'm like, wow, yeah, cool.
Right?
What?
Didn't see you in the podcast awards this year, buddy. They want
fascism and racism do not make good podcasts. Sorry, what?
No, you're fine. Yeah, they want to get more speaking events, including people like Steven Pinker throughout the year. Yeah, they've got a lot of plans. I think, did I see something to do with police? Yeah, police accountability. Following up on non-crime hate incident training reforms through OIA requests and meeting with senior police. Random. There's just, some random ones, but also some ones that definitely give a few red flags. And it'll be interesting to kind of see how this manifests through the year. Yeah, so that's what those bastards are up to. But that's the other thing too, is they're very organized, which is where we as community need to try to organize to fight back. So, and yeah, exactly. Just enough breadcrumbs to try to mask the red flags. Abso-freaking-lutely. So we're going to have to keep an eye on them, because as much as I don't like it, they do have a demographic they speak to that listen.
And yeah, Tim Jago would probably be in the Free Speech Union.
Probably. All right. Damn, do we got some shit to talk about?
Oh yeah.
American propaganda, you say?
Yeah.
So, I will do my best to summarize what the fuck's been happening since New Year's Day, essentially. So, America has been doing some things, nationally, internally, as well as internationally. Trump's administration are in their second year officially. Oh, as of today, in their second year. And crazy enough, we've got another 3 years of this that we have to watch from this side of the globe. And
hate being reminded of that. That's too long.
Going to be an interesting one. So, yeah, we missed a lot. We missed a lot. And there's no way I could possibly go back through and give you a timeline. Otherwise, we could, as Kiwi Burb said, I could do a 3-hour episode on everything that's happened. So I'm going to pick a few things that I've seen most recently that have kind of been the highlight highlights that I have highlighted as kind of pieces that kind of encapsulate everything that's going on, from kidnapping the president of a foreign nation. Jesus Christ, what else happened?
Well, actually, before that, can we all just agree that the world is low-key underreacting to the fact that someone kidnapped the leader of another fucking country? I don't give a shit if he was a fucking dictator. That's not the point. It's setting a precedent that is insane. Anyway, continue. Well, yes. So that happened on, I think, the second in America, the third here. Like third day?
Yes, second, third. It's not that everyone's like underreacting. I think it's just that there's so much shit happening that it got buried and we just haven't had time to deal with it because he's moved on from invading Venezuela and now he's starting to invade Greenland, which comes with a whole nother layer of craziness to it. So, yeah. So that happened. Yeah. I'm going to start with this piece here because I think this is quite a good one. The Zeteo, which is Media-san's blog media company, I guess. One of their writers did an amazing piece, which is, what if we wrote about the events in Trump's America and the way that Western media describes African and Middle Eastern countries?
Real.
This is a fascinating look at or a what would you say? A retelling, a restructuring, to put it through the lens of like what a lot of us probably already see it as, but like it articulates it. So this is really good. I can't read you the whole thing. I'll read a wee bit of it because it's for paid subscribers, but I think this sets a really good tone. So US authoritarian regime executes unarmed civilian as ruler grows more erratic and isolated.
Bars. No notes.
No notes.
Mic drop.
This is the
Oh.
Washington, D.C., USA. In what diplomats and historians of yore dubbed the shining city on a hill, the United States of America now appears to be anything but. The nation is a powder keg. Regime ruler Donald Trump is mired in yet another scandal as shocking footage captured his agents executing an unarmed 37-year-old civilian and mother of 3 in broad daylight. The erratic behavior of the land's embattled sovereign has ratcheted up as he continues to further withdraw himself from public life and his nation from the global stage. This was also written on the 9th, so this was just after, and he's talking about Renee Good, who was executed. Perfectly put, executed.
By a man who called her a fucking bitch as he did it.
Yeah.
Jonathan
On
Ross.
Wednesday, in the Placid region of Minneapolis, Minnesota, state agents brutally killed 37-year-old Renee Nicole Good. The victim was in her vehicle attempting to flee masked government agents whom Trump has deployed all across the nation to terrorize the populace. As she appeared to heed orders, even waving at other agents' vehicles, yielding and welcoming them to pass her, an agent emerged as she moved to depart. As she turned the vehicle away, the agent aimed his weapon at the woman's head and fired 3 separate times. While footage clearly shows the victim attempting to avoid the agent, the state has nonetheless dubbed the victim as a domestic terrorist. The regime has quickly disseminated state propaganda insisting the victim deserved to be killed.
It's
really
vile
nice.
behavior. But also, yeah,
It's
this is how
really-
it should be being reported.
This is how it should be reported. Not just by, like, obviously from the States, they're never going to write about it like this. But why is the rest of the Western world not reporting about it like this? Because these are the words that they use. This is a great point. This is the words that they use for every other dictatorship around the world where it's brown people's countries, you know? But,
Yeah.
like,
As
we're
soon as it's
talking
too ethnic,
regime.
it's a bad thing. But
Yeah.
like
Regime,
and
ruler, execution, erratic behavior, like,
well, yeah, I mean, and now he's going on about how he doesn't want the Peace Prize because he didn't get the Nobel Prize, and so he's having a fucking tanty like a toddler, and it's just dangerous having a man with cognitive decline, who's also a raging pedophile and fucking piece of shit, just absolutely, running amok. Because, I mean, there's been so many people, who've been killed by ICE. Like, not just now, but, like, obviously last year, I do have to acknowledge that, let's be real, the world, people only really started paying attention when it was a white lady who got killed. Black people and indigenous people have been trying to tell people for years. Like, I think there's a comment, I don't think I started, but kind of talking about, like, this is nothing new, like fascism has always been a part of America. Absolutely, I agree with you. I mean, when it comes to World War II, a lot of what they based their fascism off was America. Like, they used the black slavery and all those things as a kind of, a framework to fit within. And it's just absolutely disgusting because it's not just people like that. I saw a horrible video of a man who was driving home, his kids after basketball, and they got caught in a crowd where ICE were fucking doing their thing. And it ended up being that they tear gassed the man's car and a literal baby was foaming at the mouth. And all of his children had to go to the hospital. This poor mother had to sit there while a stranger grabbed her baby out of her car, and then she's sitting there trying to resuscitate it as it's got like foaming at the mouth. Like, that is just bonkers. That shouldn't be acceptable. And the fact that, like, Trump has also said that Jonathan Ross did nothing wrong and that he won't get in trouble for anything. Like, it is absolutely foul behavior. And I've also heard other stories of people who got detained by ICE to only then be either, assaulted or murdered in detainment. It's not about, this person might not be from here. This is very clearly following what we saw in Nazi Germany. People have been talking about concentration camps in America for ages. Like, back when we had the whole build the wall thing, and he was separating children from their parents and deporting their parents and holding them in these concentration camps. It's just absolutely terrifying. And he just has allowed these masked police officers, quote unquote, and these are the same people who would have been anti-mask mandates, who are now walking around wearing masks like they're proud, like it's some kind of armor. It's just, absolutely fucked. And also, yeah, Obama wasn't a perfect person either, but he wasn't Trump, so try harder. Fascism's been in that country for a long time. They've been broken for a long time. And that's why I think here in New Zealand, we really need to pay attention because we're always following behind them. And we've become more and more following behind them as things have gone on, especially now that we've got a bloody PM who just loves Trump. Oh, you're muted. You're muted. Muted.
I am muted.
There you go.
I'm muted. I was.
Also, QAnon's quiet because they're ICE officers now. That's what I reckon.
One of the many things that happened, yes, someone released a list of every single, everyone who's employed as an ICE agent, including some
yes,
Proud Boys.
I did hear about that. Yes.
All these things I've just forgotten about because they just keep getting buried under all the other shit that's happening.
Totally. Also, just to point out this comment, we are closer to Aussie, but Australia also are aligning with America. I'm not sure if you're aware, but they have FBI, I think it's FBI or CIA, headquarters in the middle of the outback that no one's allowed into because they're doing weird testing shit. So, again, my point still stands.
It's a little bit of, yeah. Everyone has a United States in their backyard sort of thing, but it'd be nice to see people starting to maybe turn off that faucet and start forcing them out of your countries. But this is like, I think the craziest thing is that the United States have been the backbone of the West since the end of World War II is kind of the way that I see it. Someone else is probably a historian, which would laugh at me saying that. But it's kind of been like the backbone of the West in some ways. And they've kind of been the good guys who have helped each of these countries sort of keep their intelligence and security up and helped arm our forces, but also help train our troops and things so that we're ready, combat ready, and all of these things. And then just in 1 year of Trump's presidency, we've seen those foundations and that infrastructure now become a threat to those countries who have had those in place. So I'm not saying that there should be a secret CIA base in the outback. That's concerning, foreign intelligence and all that in your country. But at the same time, they probably did that under a slightly different America, No one's forgetting that the Democrats are no better than the Republicans, but that was a very different America to the one that we're seeing that's just emerged in the last year. So,
oh, yeah. Their window has been getting pushed further and further right, and this one's just been shoved a little further, I reckon.
Oh, yeah.
Slow creep and then just a boom.
This has just been an absolute punch in the face.
Well, I mean, it makes sense. Fascism and capitalism, they love each other. They're in a relationship, and we're all suffering.
I got a video for you.
Oh yes. Pine Gap. That's
also
the one. Pine Gap is the
Pine Gap. Yes. I talked about this yesterday, and so I just thought I found it. So I thought I'd throw it up. This is the hostage video I was talking about. So this is the Trump administration threatens the U.S. Federal Reserve head with criminal indictment. So top points for you if you weren't aware. Powell accuses administration of using legal threats to influence Fed policy. Subpoenas mark escalation in Trump-Powell conflict over interest rates. Interesting. Does that sound familiar at all? Does it? Just saying. Independent. Just saying. White House criticized Fed's $2.5 billion building renovation as costly. Hilarious of the guy who's building a fucking ballroom, but let's just ignore that. This was the video that I was talking about where it looks like he's making a hostage
serves
statement.
the Federal Reserve with grand jury subpoenas, threatening a criminal indictment related to my testimony before the Senate Banking Committee last June. That testimony concerned in part a multi-year project to renovate historic Federal Reserve office buildings.
He looks so uncomfortable and like
It's the swallows at the end of the sentence too. Just
yeah, like he's got like a gun to his head sort of thing. So yeah, that was the thing that I was talking about. That's hilarious. So the next, because you've kind of alluded to a lot of this stuff, there's a video that I watched by the Humanist Report, who does some amazing stuff. Great freeze frame. Sorry, my dude. But talking about kind of the aftermath of all of the stuff happening in Minneapolis and how in just the last month with this crazy stuff happening with ICE, even though it's been happening for the last 12 months, people are getting to the point where it's like, this is the force of the Trump administration against our city, Minneapolis, and against the state, Minnesota, is beyond what is reasonable at this point. And it's it makes no sense. So he goes through he's collated a few videos of people kind of talking about basically the breaking point. I'm not sure if it's in this clip as well, but he also mentions the same thing about what you were talking about of like, this is the end point of capitalism and people are no longer getting the crumbs, which kind of keep people generally at bay and a little bit more subdued. You know, you got to sprinkle a few crumbs here and there so that they don't go full-blown revolution. And he kind of goes through that as well and talks about how, like, we're beyond that point now. And so, you know, there's only so much you can take. I'll play through, it's 1.525 speedish. I'll play through some of these videos that he collated from users who have kind of talked about, like, is now the time for the revolution? And like, are we at the point now where it's like, there's no going back and the only way forward is to be the next big civil war, basically. Yeah, it's good stuff.
So everything that we're seeing is forcing Americans to grapple with the reality that the system isn't built for them. It was built to exploit them and oppress them and control them. It was built to squeeze as much profit out of them as they possibly can before they die. Hence why people are beginning to yearn for a revolution, because anything short of that simply won't change things.
Bro, I'm just done. I just want to know when the fuck we light the torches and get the pitchforks, because we just need to burn this bitch down and start the fuck over. So, you with me?
I'm slowly coming to the realization that we are the generation that has to do something, and it's one of the most difficult realizations to accept. All throughout history, we've learned and watched some of the worst atrocities be handled by groups of people who had to stand up and do something about it. And I think we've been conditioned to be more comfortable observing from a distance than getting rid of our discomfort. Whether you are pro-life or pro-choice or pro-Second Amendment or anti-guns or religious or atheist, we are living in an era where we have to behave differently right now. We've grown up reading about all of these revolutions and all of these stories of these people fighting back against power. We've watched these movies and TV shows telling these great stories about these heroes that got together and fought the odds. And I think we are unfortunately living in the generation that has to be the people who do that.
Now, to state the obvious,
one of the things he said in there as well, I love that, what was it? What did he say? The bit he said in the middle?
People who had to stand up and do something about it. And I think we've been conditioned to be more comfortable observing from a distance than getting rid of our discomfort. Whether you are pro
100.
And that's, yeah, I feel like a lot of us have kind of come to terms with that, with the Hikwe probably was the biggest one for a lot of us. In the big Palestine protests as well, of like, I mean, I was probably one of those people that was like, I kind of just want to sit here in my bubble. I don't want to actually be out on the streets and actually like, you know, put my face forward and like, you know.
I didn't want to write
like
a bunch of submissions to Parliament. That made my head hurt.
Yeah.
I had to learn
and I
stuff
think
that I
that's,
didn't want to.
yeah, I think he makes a really good point there of like, I think it's time that, you know, not quite the same here in New Zealand yet.
No, we're getting there.
But it's, yeah, unfortunately. But that idea of like, of, you know, getting uncomfortable and actually fighting for not just fighting for your neighbors and for people who perhaps you don't have a lot to do with, but it's now like, this is everyone. It's like, we all need to band together to stop this from continuing to spread beyond. I mean, they've already proven this. The ICE agents are no longer just going after the black and brown people. They're also going after clearly white people.
Yep. Y'all ain't
just-
safe now.
Like everyone, basically.
What's the first they came for? Blah, blah, blah. Then they came for, like, again, everything has been trying to tell us what is going to happen. And I think, actually, it's one thing that I saw in a video, someone talking about the fact that, like, the difference between World War II and now is that they didn't have a World War II to reflect on. The same way we have so much documentation as well, like, you know, the connectivity, the amount of information we have. We've been given the tools, and unfortunately those of us who have tried to advocate and protest have been told we're crazy, and now it's knocking on people's doors and they're going, oh shit. And it is scary, it is fucking terrifying thinking how much mahi they actually do need to do, because the amount of violence that is being cause, not just physical violence as well, like political violence, like attacking Roe v. Wade. That is political violence against uterus havers. Like, there is so many things that we don't even think of as violence that has been kind of put into this bubble of, oh, well, this is how this thing works, or this is how this works. It's like, no, it's just a form of violence, and you're getting gaslit into accepting it. Yay.
We'll watch through this last little bit of this section here, and then there's a couple of amazing videos about turning towards. The next section is about turning towards armed protest, which is quite interesting. So I'll play this wee bit through.
In the generation that has to be the people who do that.
Now, to state the obvious, disillusionment with the system is not a new phenomenon. We've gotten clues here and there that that's the case with the rise of anti-establishment sentiment, as well as populist figures like Bernie Sanders and Zoran Mamdani, and also this fundamental distrust of the system itself among the public that we've been seeing. But this mentality has really proliferated in Trump's second term, and it's spreading even faster due to ISIS terrorism across the country. So we're witnessing the culmination of decades of anger towards the system and the ruling class, which has now resulted in a discussion that we're seeing about the efficacy of a non-peaceful response. Now, some people are
now the armed resistance response. There's a couple of clips at the beginning here from a few people where they specifically a black person here talking about the hypocrisy of be peaceful, protest peacefully, and then they shoot you. So, you know. That makes sense.
Oh, I mean, I literally just saw some man who's going to be permanently blind because those, you know, those beanbag style guns. Yeah, they shot him right in the fucking eye, and bro is never going to see out of it again. And that's acceptable kind of reaction to citizens being unhappy with what's happening in their city. Like, that is disgusting.
Right, I'll play this wee bit here.
But others are more openly talking about an actual armed resistance and not a political revolution, which is always a possibility in countries after government institutions begin to break down, which is exactly what we're seeing right now. It's not unique to the United States, of course, but the following people explain why arming themselves might be a necessity to protect their communities from repression, since the state has become openly hostile towards its own people.
Advocating only and solely for peaceful protest is a manifestation of white supremacy, right? Because why is it that people are expected to stay peaceful, but not the people with the guns, right? The people with the monopoly on violence don't ever have to stay peaceful, but we're always expected to be the bigger person to take the high road. But the same politicians who demand that you stay peaceful will turn around and use their police force to spray you with pepper balls and to arrest you, right? It is very much a do what I say, not what I do type situation. And I come at this conversation as a Black American person because we've always been told, well, if you just act right, well, if you just do this, we'll treat you right. But they've never treated us right. It don't matter what we've done. Marching in suits or marching, we've never been treated right? So, like, I don't believe, I've never once believed that if we just contest in the way that they want us to, that they'll actually do what they're supposed to.
Hey guys, we got to take some notes from the Black.
Sorry, that is very fast because she was speaking quite rather fast, but essentially saying the parallels of, like, you know, look good, act civilly, act like a white person, and they won't target you. You know, don't look like a criminal because, you know, don't wear your hoodie up, and
victim blaming.
Keep your hands where they can see you if you get pulled over, like that sort of thing. And I guess Black Americans are quite familiar with that. So she was talking about, like, the hypocrisy of that, and then they shoot you because I don't know, you just slightly did something wrong, and it didn't matter that you did everything correctly, you still get shot. And it's the same,
Well, and you don't even have to do anything wrong, though. I think the Renee Good video, like, we saw it. We saw him very clearly change his phone to his left hand so he could pull out his gun, and he called her a fucking bitch. Like, the malice in his voice. I've been in domestic violence situations. That man sounded exactly like the vitriol in his voice. He wanted to hurt her. And that should be unacceptable. I think there's some slightly crunchy in the comments going, oh, but that guy, he went in the midst of a brawl. Yeah, and what? I don't give a shit. I don't think people deserve to lose their literal eyeball because a cop was a little bit annoyed at him. Maybe I should get the fuck out of this city. Continue.
More great commentary from Americans themselves.
Empire.
The United States has gotten to the place that we are today by repeated underreactions to things that are very, very severe, while the people in power continue to escalate, knowing that they will not get the type of pushback from the populace that would make them stop what they're doing meaningfully. On a totally unrelated note, this is the country of the Second Amendment. It's time for you to buy a fucking gun.
Shit, pretty soon this right here.
I absolutely love the comedy of that.
Yeah. I did see a comment along the same lines earlier too, of like, ooh, you definitely want to feel like you can protect yourself now.
I think the other one that's quite interesting is this last little bit here. Of someone on the streets talking about, I guess, getting to the boiling point where they're like, we can't do this anymore. Like, if they're going to shoot us, we have to come armed. I feel, well, this person was saying is that I feel as a citizen that it's no longer safe for me to go to these things to protect the people around me without a gun. And the way it comes across is this is someone who's not pro guns necessarily, but has kind of resigned themselves to the fact that this is maybe the way things have to go.
Yeah.
So I'll play this wee one here for you.
Despite the risks, they feel like arming themselves is the only way to survive the threat that they're facing. And this was exemplified in this interview from Status Quo. And they were talking to a protester in Minneapolis. And this was directly after Renee Good was executed. And what he says speaks to what I'm talking about here.
And murdering people for trying to flee and for obeying a command to leave the area and then shooting her in the face like that after she drops her kid off at school. We have to show up with guns. We have to. There's no other way around it. I don't care if I don't have a Minnesota carry permit. I'm unarmed right now, but this is the last time I show up to face these guys without a weapon. There's no way. I got shot with a pepper ball 5 minutes after walking in here. I never laid a finger on them. I never raised a hand to them. I've only been using my voice. The time for speaking is over. The time for niceties is over. The time for peace is over. They fired the first shot. It is time to end this shit by any means necessary.
You're talking about, potentially going to a dark place in this country. Do you foresee?
We're there. This is the dark place. This is the dark time. We have people being sent to Salvadorian concentration camps. We got other countries being raided for their oil. We're in the dark time. There's no way out of this. There's no voting our way out of this. We can't wait till November. There's no waiting to the ballot box. We need to get to the bullet box. That's the only way. If there was another way, I'd be advocating for it. I've spoken peacefully. I've marched peacefully. I marched without Sharpton. I marched on Washington. I've been peaceful. I've acted peacefully. The time for peace is over. The time for any means necessary is right now.
It might be hard for some Americans to hear.
Yeah. So I feel like that's probably the most... I think that is the reaction that I think a lot of the world who's paying attention and looking at what we're seeing, and specifically this last few weeks with the Renee Good situation and the fallout from that. I think a lot of us are seeing what's happening and the absurdity of how much force the ICE agents are using, the way the administration is talking about this whole thing, the propaganda that goes around us, the disconnect between the reality of the video, which clearly shows something, and how the administration is framing it as this domestic terrorist thing. It's so nice.
Projection from them.
It's so nice to see someone react on the ground
That is a
way that
normal
the rest
level
of
of
us-
reaction. Like, that's what I say about
that's the reaction I
underreacting to the situation.
Yeah,
It's
right? That's a
it's
genuine, understandable reaction.
Exactly, and it also shows you the true like depths of how fucked everything has got. Like, I don't give a shit if someone was yelling at ICE or throwing stuff because they've been told, get the fuck out of here. Although I was concerned today, I heard Trump's apparently getting National Guard from Alaska because they're good in cold weather. So,
It's because they keep fucking
all the ICE
tripping over.
agents falling over on ice. Exactly.
They have no idea because they're not locals and they just keep falling over, and they're just the most hilarious videos to watch of they're so incompetent, and it's just the little bit of sparkle in this whole thing.
Oh,
watching
God,
them,
yeah.
Absolutely cuck it, but it's so good.
Yeah, you
But
got
at
to
the same time,
find
it's
those
terrible.
small moments of just like, oh, that is nice. And then we're back to the horrible, horrific, masked, cops that are just absolutely terrorizing people. And it's not even like people who are going out and protesting that are the only problems. I think I saw a comment in the chat. I don't know if you guys have seen that video of a woman who was getting her DoorDash delivered, and the DoorDash delivery driver ran into the house, and ICE agents were like pointing their guns at her house. This woman's freaking out because she's like, well, I can't let that woman go out there because no. And I think the woman's partner might have been in the car and was taken out, and like they were trying to force their way in despite the fact they had no reason to be there. And it's just absolute insanity. They are just running amok. And I don't really care if we see videos of Minnesotans throwing ice at them or whatever. Because you know what? They are doing violence against Minnesotans. So you know what? It is okay to sometimes be violent back. Violence isn't always the answer, but sometimes it's what you're forced into, because what are you going to do? Bring a knife to a gunfight? And that's what I feel like the left often gets kind of expected to do. That what, we're just supposed to sit here and be good protesters and be the perfect way that works within you? No! Go fuck yourself. Like, I think there's definitely a growing sentiment of like, we need to be more mongrel on this side. We need to actually start like being willing to put ourselves in there physically if we have to. I don't want it to be the case. But, you know, and obviously that's not quite what we're at here in New Zealand, thank fuck. But it's also something we do still have to keep monitoring. And, yeah, it's just... The crazy things we're seeing at the moment is just... It shows how much we've been conditioned. And, like, you know, I feel like my whole perception of what I was taught growing up has been shattered these last few years. You know? I was essentially the American version of a weeb. I loved America. I had fucking had an American accent for a while. That's how weeby I was. And it's been a terrifying thing to see as an adult and go, oh, whoa. So I just got fed heaps of propaganda that propped up, you know, America and Western stuff. And like, why don't I like China? Oh, because someone told me not to like them? Maybe I should actually look into that. Or, I don't know, maybe I should actually do some research into the history of how Korea got split in two. Hint, hint, America. They were a big fucking part of it. And that's what's really made me just start questioning everything, because we've been fed propaganda from both sides. It's not just the, look at this Russian propaganda during 2020. Yeah, that's there too. But think of all the American propaganda that's been shoved down our fucking throats. It's just insane. I hate this timeline. Always has to be said.
The exact thing I said when I shoved my finger into my gate. And it's got a little red thing in it because I was like, close this thing. And that was one of those like bolts that you like pull up. But it's like one of those really hefty, big, like iron ones, and you shove them into the wall. I got my finger between the hooked bit, and the bit that it stops on. I was not a happy human. I slammed the door after that because I was very much in pain.
Yeah, I bet there was a few fucks.
There was a lot of stomping around, being very unhappy about the fact that I squished my finger. So yes, I do. I also hate this timeline.
Yeah, no, and it's like you said, there's so much crap that's coming out. There's so many people who are being harmed and hurt that should not be, and it's just, it's fucked. And I don't blame people for feeling like this is the time, because honestly, I'm with that guy. I think they need to start doing something because the right side is doing a lot. So.
Been a lot.
Yeah.
Right, let's get to some super chats.
Yeah.
And then we'll just have a quick look at funnily enough, the Greenland situation has a lot of like live feeds, so we'll just have a look at the talking points very high level. I feel like this is going to be an all week thing. But yeah, we'll get through the super chats and then we'll quickly go through that before we end the show. Middle Earth Marxist, love your name. $2, Yankee go home. Ragin says defending AI generated CP on the basis of free speech is honestly the most libertarian thing I've ever heard. Yeah, pretty gross. Peter, $5 says the reason why you don't see the Patriot Front and the Proud Boys marching like they did in Trump's first term is they're all in ICE.
Exactly.
And someone released the paperwork to prove it. Citizen Gold, $5 says modern version. First they came for the communists and I stood up for them because I read that damned poem and know how it ends.
I love that. That's beautiful.
Beautiful.
I need to snip that.
Poetry in the making. I'll go through these ones too because you starred them.
I was gonna snip it. It's fine.
What?
I was about to snip Citizen Gold's comment and you unstarred it. It's fine.
I'm so sorry. I have to go back through and find it. I'm sorry. Goblin Socks, we appreciate this comment. It's really hard to get comfortable organizing when we have been conditioned into an individualistic mindset. We don't see problems as systematic, rather as personal failings. Yep. That's a wonderful flaw of the Western philosophy, isn't it? Well done.
And that last one I just put there because we weren't born in the 80s. So for us, this is the first time the US has kidnapped a president. But that's also fucked. So everyone underreacted when that happened too. Good to know.
Clearly.
Sorry.
Brain fried. Right. Greenland situation. Let's quickly look at one of the... okay. So, first Trump came for Venezuela. Then Trump came for...
Cuba. I think Cuba got mentioned.
Oh, Cuba? Cuba also got mentioned. Who else? Was Mexico also wanted to be taken over? Or at least they wanted to take over Mexico.
Everything in the south, like from America down, probably.
Yeah, pretty much. Anyway, yeah, they're taking all of them for, I don't know, oil, I think. And now, like they promised, the Trump administration wants to take over Greenland. So, according to this BBC feed, it was updated 11 minutes ago. This is like a blow by blow, by blow, by blow. There's so much shit happening that it has to be, not everything that they update is worth updating. But here's a lot going on. So, a couple of summaries, though. US President Donald Trump says he will tell European leaders we have to have Greenland at this week's forum in Davos, Switzerland. On social media, Trump shares a message apparently from Emmanuel Macron, in which the French president says, I do not understand what you're doing on Greenland.
The fuck, bro?
Basically. I love that. He also shares a message. He says it's from NATO's Secretary General and posts generated images of himself placing an American flag on Greenland. Jesus. This could also be the moment we see what impact, if any, European attempts to manage Trump have had. There was a European correspondent. Saturday, Trump threatened 8 European allies, including the UK and Denmark, with 10% tariffs if a deal over Greenland is not reached. Greenland's Prime Minister says, "We will not let ourselves be pressured as European allies have rallied to defend the semi-autonomous Danish territory." The latest you need to know? Another text message shared by Trump appears to be from NATO Secretary General Mark Rutte, who tells Trump he is committed to finding a way forward on Greenland. UK Prime Minister's Chief Secretary Darren Jones has reiterated Keir Starmer's message that Trump's tariff threat to European allies opposing his Greenland plan are not the way forward. Yeah. So, and gold takes another. Share prices, these are all important things. Share prices. I also saw as well, Germany told them basically to fuck off. Danish defense minister said he raised the idea of NATO mission in Greenland. Germany finance minister said Europe won't be blackmailed into ceding control of Greenland earlier in the day. EU leaders will meet on Thursday to discuss Trump's latest tariff threat over Greenland. One option is a package of tariffs on 93 billion euro of US imports. Interesting. France reportedly pushing option to get the EU to activate its anti-coercion instrument known as Trade Bazooka. And this is my favorite one that I've seen so far. Trump tells Norway's PM that he's no longer only thinking of peace after he didn't win the Nobel Prize. So basically, he went to the Norwegian Prime Minister, or I think it was the Norwegian Prime Minister. He basically begged for the Nobel Peace Prize. He tried to beg it back from the person who was the opposition to Venezuelan.
So Maria Machado, the Atlas Network lady. That's the funny part, right? So obviously with all this stuff that happened, I definitely think Machado thought that she was, had enough Atlas Network connections to be like, oh, sweet, when he does this, maybe I'll get to be the interim. But I'll be honest, it seems like he went, that's a woman. She can't lead. Because he also said, he said something about her. And so I find it really, really hilarious that she's gone groveling on her little knees going, here, Daddy Trump, please take this and let me be a part of your fascism. Like, it's just embarrassing, actually. I guess her Atlas Network didn't get quite as far as she wanted it to. So that was hilarious.
There was a good time.
Mm-hmm. Well, yes, also he said that to Norway, but Norway they're not who decides who gets the Nobel Peace Prize. You're not even talking to the right people.
I don't know. I think he's just groveling to everyone and playing his cards, but weirdly. So everyone basically in who has a military in the EU or anyone who's prominent has essentially upped their troop numbers or sent troops to Greenland in the I don't know if it's an inevitability, but what is becoming an inevitability, or at least Trump's pushing it pretty hard, that they're going to try and invade Greenland. I know someone in the family who's a little bit more onto this than I am, and has some really interesting thoughts of the fact that I think there's something like a city, a 25,000 or like a city size number of American troops who are on the NATO base. And so if they pull all of those soldiers out in order to invade, that's a huge signal.
Yeah.
If they don't pull all of those soldiers out, then all of the other troops that are there are basically going to surround them and say, well, good luck trying to invade us from the inside. Like, we've just surrounded and taken over 25,000 of your troops. Well done, America.
Oh, yeah.
And yeah, so there's, I don't know how they're going to take over Greenland. This seems like a really just dumb hill to die on, I think.
Oh,
and it's,
absolutely.
Yeah.
It's a bad idea, but I think I believe I saw that like even the like Greenland armies and stuff, a few of them were actually getting together and doing some actual like drills and training. Like that's how seriously they're taking this. Like they've had multiple like very serious announcements being like, yeah, we're not going to do this because we literally just watched him kidnap. Well, we didn't even watch him. We just woke up and found out that he just kidnapped Maduro. And yes, he was a horrible dictator, but that doesn't mean you're allowed to kidnap the leader of that country. Like, that's just fucked. And if that's what they did in Panama in the 80s, again, also fucked. It's just, it is a really terrifying precedent. And I think, you know, we didn't even, like, he'd never said anything about the Venezuela thing, really, like, that he was going to do that. And he's kind of come through on a lot of what he said he was going to do. So if he's also doing stuff he said he didn't say he was going to do, like, I wouldn't trust him. Oh, you're muted again.
Sorry, I'm muted. He never said explicitly that. Oh, well, at least I don't think anyone was aware that he was going to just like straight up in the middle of the night kidnap their president. But PBS News did do a wonderful timeline.
Oh,
and I thought it was back to front because it said January 20, 2025. No, that was January. Sorry, I saw January 20 thinking that was today's date. No, January 20, 2025 is where they go back from. And then this talks all about basically the Tren de Aragua, which kind of kicked off the whole ICE thing, and like the what do you call them? The camps that they've been sending everyone to. Basically, capturing all the people. But like, these are the dates. We're looking at August, we look at September, all the way through October. Like, there were things happening that clearly lined up, or at least were like, you know, there's the whole thing of like the strikes on like just civilian boats, or like boats that weren't even related to drug trade, and they were like, oh, they're drug traffickers, all this sort of bullshit. So yeah, there was obviously things going on if you're paying attention, but obviously there was so much shit going on. I don't think everyone was paying attention to it.
I see a couple of comments saying that he did say stuff, and people were talking about Venezuela the weeks coming up, which, to be fair, I feel like I've heard things about Venezuela a lot off and on over the years, but yeah, it didn't seem like one of his main key points. But regardless, the fact that he's done that, like the fact that he's threatening to do it to other places, it's not a good state of the world, and it is something to be very much concerned about. I've also seen conversations about how, like, the Venezuelan thing, someone pointed out the fact that, like, yes, there's the oil factor, but it's also the fact that oil is only traded in US dollars. So if they have control over a lot of that oil, they then get to kind of have a lot more control over the, you know, market and those types of things. So sounds like there's a lot of fucking layers. So many layers.
There are so many layers. The other thing was the like big chiefs of those oil companies were just like, we kind of don't want this oil because it's so much work to extract it. So they were kind of like, I don't know, like, why would you do this? And then Trump got pissed. I think it was the might have been the Exxon Mobil guy. I think it was one of the oil companies, and he was just like, oh, I don't like that guy, because he basically asked a realistic question to him of the you know, how are we supposed to do this? You know, we don't even want this oil. It's, you know, so good fun. Good fun.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I've also seen comments from Americans being like, bro, you can't even run this country. Where the fuck are you gonna run Venezuela? Like,
yeah.
And that board of peace that they've got now, not only has Luxon been invited, but I believe Marco Rubio and Tony Blair, of all people, are like on it. They've been put in. And I'm like, whoo, that sounds like they're trying to make a nightmare blunt rotation kind of board.
Also, just a really quick comment here that's very interesting. Saddam was about to change Iraq's oil trading away from USD. ... Now that seems mighty fucking suspicious, doesn't it? Interesting.
It all comes back to oil.
A Voltron of suck. I love that. I love that. That's amazing. Thank you. I needed that.
Thank you. Alrighty, I like the cannon, so I think we need to play an outro.
Do we want to see something quickly, nice and positive that's like literally 5 seconds?
Yeah, go for it.
Wow, there's 2 of them. They're like 10 seconds. I just feel like we need a bit of a palate cleanser here, Whānau. It's been a heavy, heavy night with the US. I'm looking forward to getting back to a bit more of our local news, though. So I thought I would just show you this cool TikTok artist that I came across, who has made these amazing, like, so good. And then there's also one of that's it. That's all it is. Just something nice for us to kind of.
Thank you. Thank you for the palate cleanse. That was
no worries.
That was much appreciated.
See, art. It's important, guys.
Very much. All right. Yeah, there's still a lot that we could talk about. We'll feed it through the week as it becomes relevant. I mean, we haven't even covered the Epstein stuff, but again, they've been hiding that.
Well, I mean, why do you think they're bombarding us with this current bullshit? Like, the links they're going to makes it seem like there's maybe worse in there than we at first thought.
Yeah, worse than we thought, maybe.
This really interesting quick comment. We played that mission in Call of Duty Black Ops 2, Kidnap Noriega. I'm just realizing I played propaganda games as a kid. That's it. That is exactly fucking it. Is that propaganda, it finds you in places you would not expect. Also, just a quick note on the disabled people participating on protest. There are more ways you can participate. I would recommend trying to do it more through action, like, I don't know, signing up as a member of Labour or Greens, and they often have from home things that you can do in terms of volunteering. So we'll definitely be looking for more ways to diversify that over the year, though. So I'll keep my eyes out, and I'll keep you posted.
She's getting more confident. She might be. Oh.
We might get a cat by the end of the week. She's having a nosy outside.
She might have a new spot. But now she's against the black, so you're not gonna see her. She's gone back into being Void Kitty.
Yeah, she's stealthing. She's passing a stealth roll.
She's beautiful. Yeah. She's getting better. She'll get there.
Also, don't worry, no 3-hour show. We're about to leave. We'll go away. It's alright. It's fine. We'll leave.
I gotta get this baby edited up on the interwebs, so you know.
Yeah, thanks for hanging out.
But
with
thankfully,
us,
I'm not on data, so it won't take 10 hours to upload.
Yeah, download everything.
That was not a fun time. I can tell you, that was a very long night. Do we have any more super chats to go through?
No, we finished it all up, and I think everyone's ready to go to bed, or aka just chill out and do whatever the hell you want till you fall asleep.
Well done, Ems. You got rid of the thing that allows it to play.
Oh no, buffer guys.
Sorry, just enjoy the cat doing.
Oh wow,
I don't know what.
That was a big jump.
She's a big jump. She's a big jump.
Yeah.
Alrighty, it's time to leave you guys for the evening, and we'll be back tomorrow 9 p.m. for more of this. I'm sure there'll be more to talk about, so do not fret. Let's go.
Help
for joining us this evening for this episode of Big Hairy News. Hope you enjoyed yourself. I hope you're slightly more informed. I hope you were able to get the feelings out from the time that was the last month since we've been away. Anyways, Magenta, anything to say before we go?
Yes, I'm glad that you like us, but also Pat and Chewy are back next week. You got us all week. Sorry about that one, but hey, you guys can have the men back. Come on.
They will be back with you next week, but otherwise, I think we've got an exciting interview tomorrow, possibly, and we'll see how the rest of the week goes. But anyways, catch us later. Have a wonderful evening, and we'll see you tomorrow. Bye.
Keep cool to after school. Bye.